Hi, resellers. Welcome to episode number 264 of eBay the Right Way. Today's date is April 8th, 2026. Only 1 week until tax day. Ugh. But we are going to get through this together. My guest today is Anne in Michigan. Lots of Michiganders lately. Announcements. Well, I have a teaser for you. I mentioned earlier this year I have stepped away from YouTube to work on other projects, and one of them is almost ready. Wendy and I talk about this new trending thing in next week's podcast, and a big thank you and shout out to Wendy for sharing this with me. I love this idea and will be bringing it to you shortly. After Wendy explained this to me, I jumped on it immediately. I'm still getting my ducks in a row, fine-tuning the business plan and setting everything up. There are lots of moving parts to this, and I am up for the challenge. And I can't wait to share this with you. It's something we can all use, and not only is it going to be fun, but it will be good for our souls in this fast-paced, chaotic, and sometimes impersonal world we live in. So stay tuned. Okay, now let's chat with Anne. Hello, listeners. I have Anne with us today, and this is our third time as a charm attempt at Zoom because both of us had issues. So we are doing this today. So how are you doing? I guess it's afternoon now.
Right. Yeah. I'm doing great, Suzanne. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here and to finally get to meet you.
Great. Me too. And tell us where you're located.
We're located in Southwest Michigan, the Lower Peninsula of Michigan.
Okay.
We're about halfway between Chicago and Detroit, and we're an hour and a half from Grand Rapids, Ann Arbor, and South Bend. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So I saw some stuff come up on my Facebook reels last week about some gigantic snowstorm. There was like 36 inches of snow, but I think it was up by the lake. So it was like lake effect snow, but it was like, wow, how do people even deal with that?
I know. That was up in the very northern part of Michigan, and it was something over there.
I reached out to a few Michigander friends and was like, well, how's your weather? And they didn't know what I was talking about because they didn't get it.
Right.
I was like, well, wait a minute, this is what I'm seeing. So they're like, oh yeah, that's not near me. So anyway, right. I'm glad you didn't get hit with that. So
yes.
Yeah, we are recording on March 23rd. So we are into spring now.
Yes,
so
thank goodness.
That. Yeah. Okay, well, let's go over what brought you to eBay and when that happened.
I come from a long line of antique collectors in our family. My mom and dad, basically our house was furnished with antiques. That's just what I grew up with. And every weekend was involved with garage sales, auctions, antique shops. I had family who owned an antique store in Jamesport, Missouri for decades. So it's really in my blood. One day, it was in 1997, I was at my parents' house and my dad says, come here, I want to show you something. And so on the computer. So I went and looked and there was a site called eBay. And he had been selling some comic books and baseball cards and whatnot on there. He says, it's pretty cool, you might want to check it out. And well, that's where it all started right there.
So. Okay. And so did you start selling in 97?
Yeah, actually we did. We started with another ID and I don't know, we started with that one and then we started another ID. I think we were doing buying with one, selling with another, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we just kept the one ID. And so that's what we know. And I think that says 1999. So,
Okay. Well, I
yeah.
remember the first time I ever heard about eBay, I had the Rosie O'Donnell show on in the background. I had a 3 year old and a 1 year old, and we were
Oh
just,
my.
doing our day and playing. And I was like, "Oh, wait, that is a very interesting concept." And that was just the first time. Of course, I didn't start then because nobody knew what it was going to be. But yeah, I have that very vivid memory of Rosie O'Donnell talking about eBay and what it was. And
Wow.
at the time, we were living in Tennessee on the top of a mountain, very rural. We had direct TV, I think, and we got very few channels. So,
Uh-huh.
it was just background noise. It wasn't like I wasn't there at
Sure.
that show or anything. It was just, the first memory of it. And then look where we are now. It's just
Isn't it
what's
something?
evolved. So the antiques business now, did your family have a store?
Yes. It was in Jamesport, Missouri,
Okay.
and they were really into like community things. And actually, the whole community, I think it really took off in the 1990s. They just became a community of like a tourist attraction kind of thing. And they
Mm-hmm.
were really kind of the guiding force behind that. But they actually started their antique store back in the 60s.
Okay.
And I grew up, I just wanted to be like them. They were incredibly talented. They refinished furniture. They were just really special people. And they pretty much ran that antique store for decades,
Mm-hmm.
right up until, they were no longer able to. So,
Well, I am very jealous of people who grew up in that environment because I sort of became a reseller as it happened. And I just feel like you have so much more knowledge, or just have seen so many more collectibles and valuable vintage, mid-century modern stuff like that you can recognize. Do you feel like that? Or am I just imagining it because I didn't have that experience?
I don't know. There's a lot of things I remember from, growing up through the years. I'll tell you, I'm learning every day. I
Mm-hmm.
really am. There's things change, the trends change. Back then, my folks were really into antique china, and they had a nice collection of RS Prussia and RS Germany dishes.
Mm-hmm.
And back then they were quite valuable. I mean, they would sell for hundreds of dollars a piece, and now there's really not much market for them at all. The market changes, and you just have to keep learning in this business, as
But
you know.
I think the more sellers I talk to, the more I realize that everybody really grew up in an antique store, their home. Because
Yeah,
now, as a lot of us are in our 50s and 60s and older, we look back and everything we had growing up could be collectible now. It
right.
doesn't matter if it was just jars in the pantry or sewing stuff that maybe if your mom sewed or anything like that. So you don't really need the antique store experience,
Right.
but it's all how you look at it. So for the listeners, don't be like me and assume that everyone else's experience is better than yours. Because
No,
if you
no,
just think about what you grew up with, what was in your china cabinet, what kind of decor was in your kitchen, all of that is now collectible and resellable. So everybody
absolutely.
has experience to draw on, whether you think you do or not.
Absolutely. Everybody, we can all learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm sure you have lots of stories to tell over your how many years experience would this be?
Well, I mean, it's according to this our ID on eBay now, it would be 27 years. But
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Well, gosh, like you say, there's so many. I guess one story, and it's probably not so much about reselling, but we have one of our favorite thrift stores is in Holland, Michigan. It's a Humane Society thrift. And we've been
Hmm.
going there for years and we've found a lot of good things there. And we love supporting it because all the proceeds help the animals. Well, we went in one day and there was this little orange kitty cat there. And we had just lost an orange ginger cat that,
Hmm.
we were still kind of recovering from that. And this little guy came up to us and we ended up, of course, taking him home.
Hmm.
So that was probably our most interesting find at a thrift store. But at that same thrift store, we also found one time was an industrial coffee grinder. And it was sitting off in a corner and it looked to be in great shape, but it was $4. So we brought it home. My husband had to do some work to it, but it ended up selling for $550. So
Oh
yeah,
gosh.
that was, and it was really cool because the person who bought it, it was on the East Coast. We're just starting their coffee shop. And so it was cool to have a part in that, to help a
Oh, that's
new
great.
entrepreneur. So that
So
was
when you mentioned that orange cat, my mind always goes to the Spencer, Iowa library cat. Have you heard about that?
no, I haven't.
The cat's name is Dewey, and I read this book years ago, but the
Oh,
story was actually on Paul Harvey's The Rest of the Story about
oh,
this cat that I think somebody shoved him in the book return. They found it in
oh,
there, and it was like a really cold day, and so they just kind of adopted the cat, and he had little adventures. It's a true story, and it's in
oh
Spencer,
my.
Iowa, which my stepsister lives there. They named him Dewey after the Dewey Decimal System.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I'm a
wonderful.
cat lover. So anyway,
Oh,
um,
same here.
so if you're out there and you like cute stories, it's probably on an audiobook. You can listen to it. But
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I'll look for that.
Anyway, so I'm just hijacking all of your stories today.
That's all
Um,
right.
do you know the highest dollar thing you've ever sold?
We were talking about that, and just looking back, I don't think, that was probably one of them, actually. We don't really get into selling, really, really high dollar items. We're more into that mid to just
Right.
middle range. One thing that I do love doing, a while back, we went to, it's a little, oh, I don't know what you call it, but it's it was just a store where you could go and buy like dented cans and that kind of thing, grocery.
Oh, like imperfect stuff.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
We went to one of those and they had a big bunch of this patchouli, Peaceful Patchouli by Kiss My Face.
Okay.
It's a body wash, and it was a good size, like a quart size in a pump bottle, and it looked really interesting. And I thought, well, I bet that smells good. So I bought one and brought it home. And of course, like all of us eBayers do, I looked it up just to see, well, it's probably discontinued. And there weren't hardly any up. There was one in a smaller size that it was like $60. And I was like, oh. So
Okay.
we went back to that store. And long story short, I ended up buying all of them. I think all in all, we got 27 of them. And the
Oh.
last one, yeah, the last one we sold for $100. On the average, we sold them anywhere from 70 to with 100 being the highest a piece.
Hmm.
And they were $6 a piece. So
Oh.
overall, and they sold fast. I mean, we would put them up and they'd be gone. And so that was like, overall, that was a really nice sale.
So did you put up a quantity or did you just do them one at a time and wait for it to sell?
We would do three at a time,
Okay.
just in case because there were people that did buy three at a time.
Hmm.
And then once they were gone, then we would go ahead and relist. So,
Yeah, you never know the best way to do that because if you put them up as a quantity, then people can buy however many they want. And they
Right.
might buy all of them if they really
True.
like it. Or if you do them one by one or just a few at a time, you are creating a supply and demand situation where they don't know how many you have. And
True.
if they want more, they can come back and buy more.
Right.
I come
Yeah.
across that sometimes. I'm like, do I want to hold back some of these? And it makes them more valuable if they're not that many lists.
Exactly. Yeah.
And but you could get the buyer who's going to just take them all. I
Buy
had
them up.
that happen with some, it was like laundry fabric softener or scent stuff I found at a Goodwill, and there was like 12 bottles of it. And I looked it up and they were selling for about $30 a bottle because it was
Wow.
discontinued. I think it might have been those scent beads.
Yeah.
And so I just put them all up, as a quantity.
Uh-huh.
And one lady, just a few miles from me, bought all of them.
Oh
And
my.
at first she was like, oh, I'll come get them. And then she didn't have time. And I ended up shipping them to her. And so you just never know how it's going to go.
No, you don't. But yeah, that's what we found with that. We just thought, well, we'll do the three at a time and, put them back up. They can come back and buy more.
Right,
Because the other
exactly.
thing with them being, like a heavier kind of thing, we really didn't want to ship more than three at a time either.
Right. Hmm.
So it
Yeah,
was, yeah, one
true.
consideration with that.
Now, do you know how many items you have in your store?
I think that I finally crossed over to 2,100 items now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been fighting to get there. It seems like for quite some time because you know
Mhm.
how it goes. You put in some listings and then they all sell. So it was back and forth. And I just had, this in my mind. I wanted to get up to 2,100. So that's where we're
Now, with an inventory that large, listeners always like to know what's the average number of items you sell a day?
Boy, I'll tell you, that varies. Actually, we had a really quiet weekend. We had 2 days where nothing sold. But I think that you actually brought some really good luck because this morning we had two really nice
Oh,
sales. So,
good. Okay.
so my recommendation is, do the podcast with Suzanne. She brings some good luck here. But
Okay.
I
Well,
mean,
that's something. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
You track how many items you sell a month?
Goodness, I know that that's one of the things, and I forgot to check that. It varies. I think per day we probably could say we average at least 4 to 5 items a day, sometimes more. I know the weekend before last we had 20 packages from the weekend.
Oh,
So
okay. Good.
yeah, it varies.
Well, a lot of times sellers, especially if they're trying to grow their business, will have a formula. Well, if I sell 100 items a month and I
Hmm.
have 500 items in inventory, if I double my inventory, I'm going to double my number of items sold. And it just doesn't work like that.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. I mean, you can kind of, the more you list, the more you're going to sell. That's
Mhm.
true. But as far as counting on it, that's kind of dangerous territory to get into.
Right. It's not really science. You can't just make a
Nope.
formula like that.
No.
So many factors are beyond our control.
Yes.
Seasonal items, what you're selling, if you're shipping international, which everybody should be now with the eBay
Absolutely.
international program,
Yes.
and what your competitors have is the biggest one,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is when you focus on the more unique items, there are fewer of them,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a better chance of making a sale than if you're selling. Let's say you have 2,000 items in inventory and all of them are in categories with heavy competition.
Right.
Then it's going to be a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you find that's the way it works?
Absolutely. Going for those one of a kind items, is key. It really is. When you do your comps and you go and see what is currently listed, that's
Mm-hmm.
probably one of the most important steps you can take when doing your comps. And, your sell-through rate's going to be much better when,
Mhm.
you are just one of the very few or the only one with that item. So yeah, those really heavily saturated areas of, it's just going to be slow.
Right, right. But some items have very specific characteristics, like clothing, for example. What size is it? What color is it?
True.
All of that makes a huge difference. You have to look up the very specific item.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, clothing and shoes. And we're not so much into clothing. Once in a while, we'll sell something. But yeah, that does help, to narrow it down a little bit. And if you have a size that is in demand,
Hmm.
that's a big help.
Well, and I find bras, I sell a lot of bras, and there's just so many different size combinations and
I know.
colors and brands and styles. And so I just usually pick them up anyways. I don't really research every single one,
Yep.
but there's just the factor like that. Like, okay, let's compare that to iPhone cases or earbuds. And,
Oh, yeah.
that's those markets are so saturated.
That is.
Yes,
Yeah.
people come to eBay to buy them, but how much money are you really going to make with
Oh, yeah.
competition? So
Exactly. Yeah. That's
now, where do you get your items to sell?
Well, we have, like I say, we're in the kind of centrally located in several larger areas. But to be quite honest, our favorite places to go are estate sales. We do go to the Goodwill bins. That's in Grand Rapids or Granville,
Mhm.
actually. There is another newer thrift that's near us that we absolutely love, and they're very reasonably priced right now. Their mission is supporting veterans and the homeless, and we just love that. And of course, the Harbor Humane Thrift, we like going there as well. But it's really just a total, you know, potpourri of places that we head up. Church rummage sale, church sales, we love those. But I think those are primarily it for us.
Okay, so you're a non-discriminatory picker.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Do you
Yeah.
have a death pile?
Oh yes.
Okay, so we're glad this is not a video uh, interview because it's like, well, let's see your death pile. And some people have like a death room where it's just completely
Yeah.
full.
We would spend a lot of time looking at
Well,
yeah,
you're
but you
set.
know what? I love it. I love having a dust pile because just like during the pandemic, we weren't
Mhm.
pressured to get out and find inventory. We're never pressured to get out and find inventory. We just enjoy the hunt.
Yes, it's a fun activity.
Yep, it
Yeah.
is.
Okay, now what categories are most of your items in?
Mainly books are a huge thing for us. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, eBay said that we were in the top 5% of
Oh,
yeah, book
congratulations.
sellers on eBay. I'm just a book lover, and I'm pretty sure I probably got more books than our little library here in town. But that crafts, any kind of craft, some things sell better than others in crafts.
Mhm.
But sewing patterns, I'm a sewing pattern lover. And
Okay. Are
yeah,
you a seamstress?
yeah, when I have
Okay.
time, I love to sew. I love crafts, but of course, there's not never enough time in the day for it.
Well, as the crafters say, I'm just not going to live long enough to do all the crafts I want to do.
That's
You-
it right there. That's so true. I mean, I have way more than I need, that's for sure.
Now,
But yeah,
what do you look for in the sewing patterns? Do
the
you
sewing
sell them
patterns,
individually or lots, or how do you do it?
well, if they are, I really prefer to get the uncut and
Hmm.
factory folded patterns. And you really have to kind of look at them one by one to really tell that. But I will buy them in lots and have in online auctions and whatnot. But that's kind of the big thing. If you can find the Vogue designer patterns, like from
Hmm.
the 50s and 60s, Those can be incredibly valuable. I think we sold one that was right around $100 a while back, and then we just sold one the other day that I think was 60 or so. But even like McCall's and Simplicity can bring good money if it's the right pattern. Condition is really important. And I just, look them up and comp them and by the pattern company and the number.
Mm-hmm.
I have people ask me, about that, like how do you know? And you just have to, do the comps and see. After a
So
while, you do get an idea.
when you see a big box of sewing patterns somewhere, do you actually look through them, or do you just look at the price and be like, oh, this whole box is $5. I'm just going to get it and assess this at home?
Yeah, if it's a big box of patterns for $5 and they don't look like they're totally trashed, they're mine. I'm gonna bring them
Okay.
home. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's a small investment for something that could have lots of winners in it.
Yeah, absolutely. But if they're asking, a dollar or more a piece, I take my time
Mm-hmm.
and I do have so many as it is now that I do need to be more selective. So,
Okay. Well, that is a very specific item
mhm,
that people who don't sew probably don't even look at.
right. I know I've heard a lot of people, a lot of resellers say, well, I see those all the time. Should I be looking at them? And I'm like, well, I do, and
Well, and
these
it's
are the things.
overwhelming if you don't know the products and
Yes,
things like that that could be a big box of maybe 100 of them.
right.
That's time to sort through it and figure it
It
out.
is. Yeah, it is. But, you can score it, big if you find the
It
right
depends on
ones.
what you like to do. If you're okay sitting there with a cup of coffee and a movie on and you're going through them, then
Hmm.
okay, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, and that's really so important. You've got to list and sell what you love to do.
Hmm.
And that makes a big difference right there. If you buy something and it just sits there and you don't want to list it, you don't want to photograph it, that's not doing any good there. So
Yeah, there has to be some level of excitement because or you're not going to do it.
right.
And that's a question I ask myself when I'm out sourcing is if this is in my pile, am I gonna pick this and list it? Or is it gonna get pushed aside and pushed aside because I don't want to fool with it? So
Right.
if it's a pushed aside kind of item, I just don't get it.
Yeah. And that's a really smart move because I think we've all fallen into that. Oh, that looks like that'll sell well, but if it sits there, it's not doing you any good.
Right. Good. Okay, well, what other kinds of items have you sold?
We will sell just about anything. My husband and I do this together, so we make a good team because he knows things that I don't know, and he's able to fix a lot of things. One of the things that I really love to find is old ephemera. And I know
Mm-hmm.
you've talked about this, but
Mm-hmm.
I at estate sales, you see those piles of little books and pamphlets and things like that. I love finding that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other day, we sold one. It was a program from the Boston Marathon back in 1993, and it had
Mm-hmm.
all of the runners' names and in it. It was in great shape. And so I grabbed it. I think it was like 50 cents. And it ended up selling for $90.
Oh, yeah.
And
Really?
yes, yep.
Now, was
And,
that a special year for them?
I don't know why. I just know that, again, it was a one of a kind item.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't any others from that year up. And so when I did comps, when I have something like that, I just kind of go high. And that was my asking price. I didn't even accept an offer. Because, if somebody's got a family member or themselves, listed there,
Mm-hmm.
it's meaningful for them. So, yeah, ephemera is a big thing. I really love it. And the other nice thing about it is it's small and lightweight, easy to ship, easy to store, and it's fun looking at it too. It's history books. well, I touched on that already, but we sold a kind of an interesting book. I came across it at the Goodwill, and it was, just an unusual title. It was a cellular healing diet by a Dr. Daniel Pompa, and it had a training CD in it, and a real nice book and everything. And again, I did the comps, and I really didn't find much, but I did see where one had sold quite some time ago, and it was like $250. So I listed it at 255, and it sold in about a month.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are books. That's just the section that I just am automatically drawn to, I think, first off in any scenario.
Well, and I think the longer you sell, the better your sourcing eye gets because, well, I do this when I come across something, I'm like, oh, I've never seen anything like this before. And a newer seller is not going to have that mindset because everything's new to them. But
Right.
the more you do this, the more you can have that comparison of like, wow, this is unusual. I've never seen this. And you just,
Right.
your intuition turns on and it's just like, yeah, try
Yep.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like a trained eye, it's just like, okay, that sticks out there.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely. The other thing, it's been kind of fun through the years, we'll sell something to somebody that's, kind of famous. But lately, we've had a couple sales, for props, and those are fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we sold, it was a box of vintage, I don't know if it was spick and span or a laundry detergent, but just looking, we were making out the labels. I'm like, oh, this is going to the TED show, which is, I had to look it up too. It's this bear, and it's
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that was interesting. And then not too long ago, we sold, it was a big book of fabric swatches, like samples, like when you're buying drapery or upholstery. And that went to the Elsbeth show.
Okay. Yes, I've heard of that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really haven't watched either show, but it would be fun to see, if that actually gets in a show. But yeah, those are kind of fun. And, I think I got picked up from one of your shows, talking about the discontinued products and like
Mm-hmm.
the patchouli. So, going into estate sales, that's something that, I zoom in on too, are the bathrooms, soaps, and, discontinued items like that. It's just amazing, we'll sell a bar of soap for $25.
Well, yeah. And I sold some Clinique soap. I remember using it back in the 90s. It was just a bar of face soap, and it was in this plastic container that would slide open.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I sold that for like $25. And it's just companies that produce a lot of products, okay, cosmetics, they're constantly changing stuff.
Yes.
And people like the one that they used whenever it was. And it just boggles my mind the amount of money that some people spend on this stuff, because eventually there's going to be none of it. You're going to have to find something else.
That's right.
That's me. It's like, oh, they don't have that anymore. Time to find something else. And you just adapt and roll with it. But then there's people who just love that particular product, and they're just going to pay whatever it takes to have it for as long as they can.
Yep.
And we love those people.
Oh, we do.
And like candles too. Yankee Candle's business model is new stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorites is Stormwatch. And they don't make it anymore, or might be making it again, but it's not the same. It doesn't smell the same. And I'm always looking for that for myself. But I think one of the like the larger 14-ounce jar candles goes for like $80.
Oh my
So now
goodness.
I'm like, even if I
Yeah.
found it, I don't know I'd keep it. I'd probably sell it.
It would be, yeah, that would be a little bit of a struggle.
It,
It's hard to turn
it's
that
the
down.
it's the conundrum of, oh, this is the thing I love and I found it, but it's worth this much. So as a
Yeah.
reseller, no, I'm not keeping it.
Right. I mean, I guess we're too practical minded.
Well, we just know what's possible.
Hmm.
And you sound like me where you're just able to roll with the punches and adapt to things and move on.
Hmm.
And there's always something new coming up that you might
Oh
love
yeah.
just as much. So
Right.
that's where I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Bath and Body Works is another one like that,
Yes,
they're
absolutely.
famous for discontinuing. And yeah, I've got my favorites, scents that are no longer produced and I really love them, but if they're $80, no, they're going to get
Yeah, I
listed.
love the money a little bit more.
Absolutely.
We're just getting, it's just the sale. When you see that you've gotten a sale,
Hmm.
sometimes it doesn't even matter how much. It's like gambling and you won,
Yeah.
and you got a sale. And that's where I get my dopamine hit is
Yep.
seeing
That's it.
the sale. I sold something for $8 yesterday. And okay, I only paid 50 cents for it. Oh, and then the person canceled the order because they bought it by mistake, which I don't know
Oh,
how you do because you have to go through like 14 screens to
I know.
confirm your purchase. Like,
Yeah.
you changed your mind. You didn't.
Yeah.
So
That
anyway,
just
but
happened
yeah,
to us the other day too. And it was
or
like,
you
how do you do that?
or you see that you made a sale and or got an offer, and you go look at it and you're like, and there's nobody in the room in your home even. You're like, yes, I will take that. Please get that out of here. I'm had it for 3 years. I'm sick of looking.
Hmm.
that's that's a good day when you get rid of old stuff.
Time for you to move on.
Right, right. Okay, now is it just you and your household?
Myself and my husband, we're both
Okay.
retired. And
Mhm.
like we've been doing this, like I say, for 27 plus years. And we both love it. And I'm really thankful for that. I think it would be really hard for one person, to do it, but
Hmm.
it can be done, obviously. But we've had a lot of fun together doing this, and we've learned so much.
So he is your partner in crime, basically.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you split the tasks or do you just kind of both do everything together?
No, photography and the listing, that's what I do. He is our shipper, and
Okay.
he's excellent. He does a great job. He's got a really good system for that.
Well, I hear that a lot with couples that do this together is the guy seems to be the CEO of the shipping department.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, is that something they naturally gravitate towards, or they just don't want to do the computer part, or they have a background where they're good at it? I don't
I don't
know.
know. But he just from day one, he's like, I can do that. I'll ship it. And I'm like, good.
So does he just pack it and then you print the label, or does he do the whole
We
thing?
Yeah, we he does everything, and then we kind of print the labels together. It's just
Mhm.
this may sound silly, but we just double check and recheck everything through the years. I mean, we've had times where, we ship the wrong thing to the wrong person,
Mhm.
and that can be a real nightmare.
Yes.
So we're just really careful on that. And so it just makes it really nice. We've got a little system and it goes fast, and we know it's accurate that way.
Well, I think us solo entrepreneurs would love a person to check behind us because everybody makes mistakes. And
Yep.
I get people messaging me on eBay all the time. They're like, I think you have a typo. Sometimes it is a typo and sometimes it's autocorrect and I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that. You're
Oh,
never
yes.
insulting me because hey, I'm human and I pack a lot
Absolutely.
into every day.
Yep.
And there are going to be mistakes. And it's not if you're going to make a mistake, it's how you respond to that and make it
Hmm.
right.
Oh, yes. I'm so
For the listeners,
appreciative.
don't think you
Yeah.
have to be perfect every second of the day because that's impossible.
That's not reality.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's I had somebody the other day that I had a listing up, and it was for the Hong Kong, a book about the Hong Kong Hilton, and I had 1957, I think it was, in my title. And because when you opened the book, it said 1957, but that was more to do with when the Hong Kong Tourist Association was formed.
Mm-hmm.
Hong Kong Hilton, he was very nice. He says, well, it wasn't built until 1963. And
Okay.
so I was like, oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You just, you know how it is. You get going. And I was glad that's a little embarrassing.
I really love it when collectors contact me and they give me some more facts about the item or just tell me I'm not charging enough.
Mm-hmm.
And, they have no skin in my game. They don't have to do that. But I think collectors really love what they're collecting. They love the process and they're just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, hey, did you know this? And I appreciate that so much because I'm always experimenting with things I've never sold before. And you can do your
Yeah.
research, but these people have taken a deep dive into whatever it is they're doing and they just know.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's really nice when they do share their knowledge and to help, to teach others like that. That I love that too. That's great.
Yeah. So for the listeners, don't ever hesitate to contact me. See, I've messed up or you have more information because I do appreciate that. And I mean, this really is like we're all in this together. We're
Yeah.
all doing what we love and making money from it. And it's just the right thing to do if you
Yeah.
can help somebody. I do it all the time when I see typos in prices and I'm like, I was looking at this athletic top and I'm curious why you have it at $1,700. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's a typo. It should be $17. And I'm like, no
Yeah.
problem. I do it all the time. And then they
Well,
send me an
that's
offer for less than that. So
easy to do. That's for sure.
yeah. Yeah. So anyway, okay. Well, what else do you have to share with us?
Trying to think. I was looking through here at some of the things that when I'm going through the books at estate sales or anywhere for that matter, it's amazing. You can be just about any place, and quite often I'll find signed books. And
Mhm.
that's always a pleasant surprise. So that's something I would highly recommend anybody interested in selling books. Just takes a second to open it up and just check it if it's something that looks like it could possibly be a signed book,
Are
like
you talking about signed like fiction or just anything with a signature in it?
it can be any kind of book. I mean, I have them, ranging from, say, quilting instruction books
Okay.
to biographies. Biographies are probably the biggest thing that I try to find is that. I mean, that I will actually, if I see a book that's by and it looks like it could be a first edition just by looking at it. The other day I found one by George Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he might have it was his autobiography. I think there might have been another writer involved, but he had signed it, and that had good value. That I think that sold
That
for,
is a great tip. I never even thought about that. I love
yeah,
reading biographies.
yes.
And well, sometimes I cheat and listen to them on podcasts, but that is an excellent tip to just look for the biographies and then
Mhm.
see if they're signed because they could have had a book signing at a bookstore or
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a book signing, it's typically going to be when they're promoting it, their first editions, and wouldn't be like a book club edition. So you'd want to look, and you'd be surprised. I have found several. It's just really exciting. It's always a little secret. Oh,
Have you ever found cash in books?
not in a book, but I did buy a little wallet from a Goodwill. It's been a little while ago. And I thought, I usually look in them and check them out to make sure they're not, too bad inside. And so I'm going through it, and I bought it for my personal use. So I had it for a little while before I got around to looking through it. Well, there was $100 bill tucked in there in one of the credit card slots. So,
Oh,
a lot of times you don't even look through those. And I
right.
thought, well, I wonder if this is real. So had it checked out. It was real. Somebody just had that tucked in there and forgot about it.
Well, and I found airline tickets in books back in the day. I sold books on Amazon, gosh, from maybe 2009 to 2014 when everybody was getting into that. And so I was looking at all the books, and I didn't even occur to me to look through them in the store. I just was piling up in my cart. And I found these old airline tickets from like the 50s, they used it as their
Wow.
bookmark. And I sold those.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So you never know what you're going to find in a book, because how long was that book sitting in someone's house before it made it to the thrift store? It could have been in somebody's house for 30 years
Oh,
or more.
easily.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because I'm like you, I love books, and I like to surround, my background is books.
Yeah.
I love to surround myself with books, and I love the
Yeah.
library. Just there's so much
Yeah.
knowledge in there, and it just the vibe of the library. I love
Mhm.
it. Plus, they usually have a cart with free books as you're walking out. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Got to check that
and
free
those
box.
those little libraries, you know what I'm talking about? They're
Yeah,
like a
the little
little
free
box on a
libraries.
stand. They have them in
Yeah.
neighborhoods. That's where I put my books that I'm finished with instead
Mhm.
of putting them back into the thrift store system. And you can swap out,
Yes.
you give one, you take one. And
Yes.
maybe this isn't the nice thing to do, but sometimes you find stuff in there that you can sell.
Mhm.
And I
Yep.
feel like as long as you're contributing,
Right.
then it's okay for you to retrieve books out of there. So
Right.
there's
That's
just there's just opportunities everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. And I haven't done it in a while, but I kept a box in my car full of books and when I'd see one, I would stock those and straighten them up and just kind of, make it
That's the
nice.
thing, is they're usually
Hmm.
a disaster. The one I
Yes.
that's closest to me is just people don't put them in there right. They just kind of shove
No.
them in there backwards. And
Yeah.
this one's run by the Lions Club, and because they do like eyeglasses, and that's a good way to branch out. Oh, let's do books. But I feel like calling the Lions Club and saying, "Hey, can you come straighten this up?"
Right. Right. I know
But
it. They,
I think there's a website you can go on that shows you where all the little libraries are near you. It's like a map.
uh-huh.
So it's, they're in neighborhoods, and you don't have to live there to participate
No.
as long as you're contributing. So maybe another place to put books that people can read for free,
Hmm.
and they kind of stay out of the thrift store system. I never put
Absolutely.
anything back where I got it, because might buy it again.
There is a danger in that, Suzanne.
And like if it's clothing, I will put an X on the tag with a Sharpie, so that if I do see it again, I'm like, oh, that's me. I had
Yeah.
that. Don't buy that again.
Oh, I know. When we go to that volunteers thrift store, and we donate there quite because it's close by, and we really love the store. And I see things, I'm like, nope, I can't buy that. I donated that.
Right. That was mine.
Right. Stay away from
Okay.
that. But another
Yeah.
story that I just happened to think of was kind of interesting. Well, at one estate sale we were at a while back, they had a huge dumpster in the driveway, and it was a really nice house. It was just packed full of stuff, this dumpster, and I just had to look in there.
Of
And
course.
I did ask, I said, is it okay, if I see something, can I take that out of there? And they said, sure. Well, I found all kinds of stuff in there that I don't know why they were in there, but one of the interesting things, I pulled out this big box, and it was just full of paperwork and ephemera and that kind of thing. And there were all of these envelopes, like the old airmail envelopes, with the
Mhm.
stripes, and they were all written by a soldier from Vietnam.
Oh,
And I actually still have them. I just, they're just so cool and really neat to read through those. But I'll sell them one of these days. But it's just, to me, what a crime that would have been for those to end up in a landfill. Somebody will want those,
right.
and it would be lovely. I even looked to see if I could trace down the family, but it looked to me like they were all gone. and not around anymore. So
that old ephemera, it does something to you to hold something in your hand that is that old.
right.
And I sold a letter a few months back. It was from, I want to say 1856, 57, something like that.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it was a man in seminary school outside of Washington, D.C. And he was just writing back about all the goings on. And so the date was way back like that. And
Wow.
just holding it in my hand, this thing is almost like 170 years old. And
Yeah.
where's it been? And who was the person that wrote this? The handwriting was just
Yes.
it was
Yeah.
not calligraphy, but something like it. And it was just beautiful.
Uh-huh.
And we just don't see that very much anymore.
No, we
Although
don't,
some
sadly.
schools are bringing back cursive writing. I did see that in the news. So good.
Well, I
But
hope so.
I did sell it and it sold immediately. But just
Yeah.
as we work through our business and we sell these old items, it's just like, if this thing could talk, what would it tell me? Where has it
Right.
been?
Right.
You know? And
Yeah.
I think that for those of us that enjoy history.
Yeah. That's just it. It's history. And, to me that's such a crime for something like that to end up being destroyed, and that there are historians there that would really appreciate that. And yeah.
Well, and when people ask me, what do you sell on eBay? I started saying history because I feel like that's where I'm headed with this is
Uh-huh.
the older something is, the more valuable it's going to be, the less of them there are going to be out there.
Yeah.
And so many of these older items, especially the ephemera, they're just one of a kind.
They are. Yeah.
And that's what fascinates me. So
some of these things
anyway,
belong in museums,
yeah. I love to see when something goes to a museum. I get contacted by museum type organizations and they want stuff for free. And
Yeah.
well, I mean, I'm a business person.
Sure.
I've got an old scrapbook of nurses from a school somewhere in Illinois. I forget the name of it, but it was an established nursing school. And it's got photos of them in the classroom. And it was like from the 40s.
Oh, wow.
And they've got the skeleton thing, and there's some pictures of surgery in there. It's very interesting. And
I bet.
so that place contacted me and wanted it for free.
Oh.
With like, well, as much as I love to, I'm going to hang on to it for a while. If I still have it in 2 or 3 years, maybe I'll contact them and they can pay shipping or something. But I want to see what's going to happen with it first before I just go giving it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe that's a terrible attitude, but that's the world we live in right now. I paid for it. I paid $50 for it. So
yeah, well,
I want
that's
to
a little
get
different.
back what I paid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
No,
maybe I should take the photos out and sell them individually. Because it's like old surgery photos and they've got the glass IV bottle hanging there, and then what the doctors and nurses are wearing.
Yeah.
It's just a time capsule,
Absolutely. I'm a retired RN and I
Oh, you
remember
are?
those
Okay.
glass IV bottles.
Oh, you do?
I do. Back in the day. Yeah. When I first, the first years of nursing, sure. Yeah. There were some drugs that had to be in a glass bottle.
Oh, okay. That makes
But
sense.
yeah, but it's just
So-
crazy to think about that.
I didn't ask you what year you were born.
1960.
Oh, okay. You're not that much older than me.
Mhm.
Like, were you born in 1900? Because you sure look young.
Some days it might feel that way.
Yeah,
but no.
I hear you on that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what was it? Yeah, Chuck Norris just passed away at 86.
Right. I saw that.
And then, Dick Van Dyke is 100.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I want to live to be 100. It depends on how I feel.
Right.
Health, when this
health is
body's
everything.
worn out and it just hurts every day, it's just okay. I've done my time. So,
yeah. Yeah. Your health
Anyway,
is everything. That's for sure.
yeah, absolutely. Right. So I think this business keeps us young
Oh, yeah.
because we're very engaged mentally in what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Well, we've made it to the end here. Do you have any last words?
Boy, that went fast.
I know. And you're
Goodness.
talking about your passion, time just flies.
It does. And well, first off, I just want to say I've been, like I say, a huge fan of yours, probably since just about the beginning, it seems
Oh, well,
like.
thank you.
And so I'm just really thrilled to get to talk with you. I know that you usually ask about advice for new
Sure.
people, new resellers. So I'll put in my 2 cents on that. I think for new sellers, one thing that I found that really helped me, even though I had the background in antiques, is going through the antique malls and just cruise them and look and touch and feel, get an idea of what these things are. And you could actually see them in person. You can do the research online, but there's nothing like being able to spot it in person. So I think that would be really helpful for somebody who's just starting out and they don't really, they're overwhelmed. Personally, I would probably just avoid Goodwill stores. They're just so high priced.
Hmm.
A lot of them are just priced way too high. And I think new people might feel a little pressured to try to go in and find something and maybe you only make, $4 or $5 or something like that. And just feel like if you've got a Goodwill bins in your area, check that out. Join or make a Facebook page, a reselling Facebook page. I highly recommend that. There's a wonderful reselling community on Facebook, and follow Suzanne. You're a wonderful teacher on this, and those are things that can really help you learn. Go to estate sales, go on the last day, in the last hours, make a pile of stuff, and work with people. If you form relationships with those estate sale services and work with them, that can really be a real boon for you. Always think about shipping this item. Things I think are really important. Having an inventory system right from the start is probably the best thing you can do for yourself. And having clear storage bins
Hmm.
so you can see what's in there.
Yes, and it makes it so much faster to find it. Even if the bins are numbered and you have a good system, you don't have to dig and look. You can just, mine are all clear, and I just turn it to the side or look on the bottom, and I put items in there so that I can see what's in there. And
Yes.
so when you're retrieving them to ship them, you're not digging and looking.
Right.
Well, thank you again for making time, and I'm glad we finally got together on this. We were persistent. So now, are you in my Facebook group?
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. But it's not under your name, it's under your store name.
I think I have it under both my name and my store name. But yeah, like I say, I've been following for quite some time your group. Yes.
And
I
do you
don't
want to,
post a lot, but I'm
okay.
there.
Do you want to say your store name, or would you rather keep it private?
It's ILUV 2, the number 2, collect the number 2. I love to collect too. Yep.
Okay. Okay, great. Well,
Yeah.
I respect that some guests don't want to give that out, but
Sure.
I will put that on there so people can find you and see what you're all about and maybe buy some stuff from you.
Well, absolutely. And it's the same on Facebook as well. And like I say, I think Facebook, the reselling community on Facebook, for the most part, are full of wonderful people and they're very
Yes.
supportive.
Okay, well, I'll let you get on with your day, and thanks again for coming on.
Thank you, Suzanne. It was great to meet you.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.
As I mentioned, my guest next week is Wendy, who was last on the podcast in August of 2023 as a contributor to the estate sale edition. Her specialty is jewelry. We'll check in and see what she's been up to over the last 2.5 years. So make sure you tune in for that episode. Thank you all for your loyalty to this podcast, and I hope you have a stellar week on eBay and in life. Bye for now.